So then, after the loss of Epoch and our hero Yudias now captured, what did episode 134 bring us? Well, this episode was slightly more tamed in terms of the atmosphere and spooky nature that the previous episode gave us. This episode does start to show some betrayals, changes, and something we've never seen before. So, without further ado, hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton, and today we're talking all things episode 134 of the Yugioh Go Rush anime series. Let's get into it. Starting off with Team Goha. Now this segment of the episode was really interesting and a little heartwarming, as there are multiple things that I loved about this part of the episode. Firstly, seeing how Otis is smiling like he's playing both sides against each other, or he could be smiling because Yuhi's personality is breaking through and is just genuinely happy to see Yuumu finally getting her act together. On that topic, Yuumu showed that fire she once had, plus more, as she can't stand by while Yuna is being harsh to her friends. Also, seeing Yuumu happy and showing more resolve after the Dark Men kind of back her up, showing that they still support her, was just so sweet and wholesome. Goha Yuna doubling down on a mission to reunite with Yuga in the future, showing no remorse or guilt for her actions, calling the Dark Matter Empire clowns and tools for her mission to be accomplished, was brilliant. But now that she has the town under her control, and she has the power that she needs, it's shifted towards her. She no longer needs the Dark Matter Empire. So, the betrayal begins. On that topic though, however, I was thinking, what was the point in taking over Municipal Town if your main goal is to just travel to the future instead? Now, my best guess would be that Yuna wanted to avoid going to a future that was in an alternative timeline where Yuga was different and not the person that she knows and loved. Following a path towards a predetermined future would help ensure that she would be on the right track when she does eventually travel to the future. But now, getting more context and information about Yuna's plan was really neat, as we learn that she wants Kawaii for the link to the future. She craves knowledge, and I love the callback that we got given to the cat segment in season 2, where the three Odos as cats travelled to Yuga's timeline. Now, this whole opening segment does help to showcase that betrayal we've all been expecting from Goha. It does create tension between Yuumu and Yuna, which will most likely lead to a duel, and as much as I would hate it, I think Yuna has to win this duel, as we need more antics with Time Machine. And with it now being back in Yuna's hands, it's unlikely that she'll lose for a duel or two. But then, what happens to the Dark Matter Empire if Yuumu loses and gets lost in time? Will Yugioh protect them? As he's looking rather conflicted as to what he's meant to be doing. At this moment in time, he seems more on Otis's side than the Dark Meister's side. So again, interesting turn of events. I wonder how this is going to play out, for Yugioh's character in particular. Now, though Otis may still be funny and goofy, but one thing he is not is dumb. He knew Yuna's plan and told her not to travel to the future without him. And again, it seems to be that he's playing both sides, as it just makes him more entertained. Now then, moving on, we are going to talk about Yudias in just a moment. But first and foremost, what the hell is she doing here? This character, I swear, every time we see her, she raises more and more questions. Like, who is she? What is her connection to the story? Now, if the show finishes without answering who she is, I will riot. With that being said though, that is not me wanting to be spoiled. If the answer has already been said in future episodes, and you already know, please don't tell me, let me find out for myself. But yeah, her just appearing here within Yudias, looking down at Municipal Town, like the sun from the Teletubbies, I have no idea why she's here, or what she's doing. Maybe Yudias is secretly a girl? I don't know. Now then, Yudias. Yudias was a strange one here, as we're inside of his body and interacting with his consciousness. But he does seem hyper-aggressive. Now granted, he has just found out that Epoch has vanished, and the only reason she dueled is because of Yudias freezing. And if Kawaii is somehow connected or involved in making Yudias freeze, then Kawaii is partly to blame for this. But I did think that Kawaii and Yudias came to an understanding and were relatively on good terms. So why Yudias is now hyper-aggressive here is a little out of character for him. But I was quite intrigued when Kawaii said that Yudias is undergoing an evolution. Does this mean that he hasn't fully fused with Kawaii yet, and then once this happens, she will have this evolution? Or will we get a Supreme King Yudias type of character? After all, Yudias has suffered a lot. Emotionally, physically, and he's lost so many friends in the past. I'm surprised he hasn't mentally snapped already. But maybe he reaches his breaking point and this aggressiveness is just the build up to this. And he's going to get more and more aggressive towards other people, thus kind of having a darker side to him. At first, when we saw the Dynamoos going around making the Yudias pop, I thought this was a way to erase memories or parts of Yudias, which could then lead to a new version of our main protagonist, which would awake something new. Again, linking back to that evolution that Kawaii was saying. But that seemed to have been a part of Kawaii's attempt to wake Yudias up, meaning that Kawaii is setting things up even within Yudias' consciousness. I did like seeing how Kawaii was acting all jolly and happy, seeing Yudias a little bit jokey. There was no evil or malicious intent within Kawaii's expressions. It was more like excitement and intrigue. Now then, one thing I do believe that we've never seen within any Yugioh show is a duelist having the ability to attack 30 times in one turn. Now I think the closest thing we got to this is probably the infamous Monster Kado when Yugi was dueling Weevil in the Seal of Orichalcos arc. But yeah, attacking 30 times in one duel was wacky, but really cool at the same time. Admittedly, the Dynamoo segment wasn't that great, and it did feel like it dragged on and on and on, just a bit too much. However, at this point, when we pair this with the amount of flashbacks that we got from the last episode, I think the episode was just struggling from a time management perspective. Like, they were just using this Dynamoo segment, the flashbacks, to pad out the episode's length, because they really wanted this cliffhanger that they gave us. I get that they needed to have at least some flashbacks because Yudias needs to understand and learn of the situation that's happening while he's been frozen. But at the same time, again, it's just one of those things where it was just a little overplayed. So overall, this was a little bit of a fun episode, and I can't wait to see what duels we're going to be having moving forward, as they've been building up to give us duels like Yuna versus Yuamu, plus Yudias versus Kawaii. So, if you're excited, stay tuned to hear my thoughts on everything else moving forward by subscribing, liking the video, and I'll be seeing you next time. Have a great day. Arigato, matane, goodbye.